All right, all right, all right. Don't really need this anymore, do I? Not really. I'll read it up there, though. Gotta figure that one out. Ah, better for you, better for you. All right, let me get all this going. You know, my favorite cigar, acid line, but preferably the acid blindies. I can chew on these and they don't fall apart. All right. All right. I think I'm ready. To the east. To the north. To the west. To the south. Above. Below. And in the center. Ah, there it is. All right. The power of Blue Night will propel you. The power of Blue Argonite will propel you. The power of Blue Argonite will propel you. And we sending that Virgin power, baby. We sending that Virgin power to everybody. Giving you the Virgin frequency, baby. Thing's heavy. I can't hold it. uh, mm. Oh, it's different when J.R. Smooth is in the house. Well, after that introduction, I'd like to welcome everybody. I go by the name of Big Pontiac, and this is the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I'd like to welcome you. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins, and you know I am also that fun guy. I'm that one only galactic daddy-o coming to you from Big Eagle Mountain's patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. So welcome Lorenzo. It's different when Lorenzo's in the house. And tonight's special liquid ambrosia is just regular water. Because you can't drink every day. It's just not good for you. So some days I do just drink water every day. So for those of you that want to drink a beer while I go, pop them if you got them. And as always, we are still going with the Unicorn Luca. So smoke them if you want them. Oh. See if we can get this gadget going, y'all. See if we can get this gadget going. Let's see. So it takes a second to warm it up. Oh, it's getting there. Well, there we go. What did Bootsy say? Wind me up. Oh, it's different when PJ Allen is in the house. Oh, you're going to try to get you. Well, thank you. PJ, let me tell you, I was talking shit yesterday, talking about I could get that Jackie Robinson hat. I went to the outlet. Outlet has 2 lids. The outlet near me has 2 lids. None of these. They did have the Way hat, and the cool thing about the Way hat, this is blue, and it's a little different blue, but the M is blue, but it's more mesh in the back. You know, now they make the fitted mesh. But yeah, they sold out all them. And I'll tell you, I had one of them Jackie Robinson's hats but it was the thing where, you know, when you go to the store and you spend so much money and like you see something that you figure you don't know if it's exclusive because apparently those hats, it was Jackie Robinson's day. So it was exclusive kind of sale too. And you know, you just have spent so much money, you just can't justify spending another 35 bucks. So I had to go to the Mall of America, to the lids on the first floor. I ended up, I was looking for the Jackie Robinson hat. So I went, I did damn near 4.5 miles just at the mall. But end up, they didn't have them either. So I went back to the one on the first floor and they had these home hats. And this is what you kind of want when you get like the actual hats. I don't know if people know this, but see, they say field worn. See, all hats don't say that. All hats don't say field worn. And this is actually the field worn hat. Now I think I'm going to get a Bunkston jersey. I think I'm going to end up getting a Bunkston jersey. So, Jeffrey. It's different with Jeffrey Lane. King is out there, lost everything. Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go down. I'm either going down to the stadium tomorrow because the stadiums might still have them Jackie Robinson hats. So either I'm going down. I'm going down there. I'm going down to the stadium either tomorrow or maybe sometime this week, and see if they have any. And tomorrow would be probably sooner would be better than later, so I might go. But I don't know. I got this one. I don't really need another one. But yeah, these are the hot items, and yes, you can get them online. But even the lid store was like, I'm telling you, these hats. When I saw these hats, I was at a different mall. But Friday, when I saw all the hats, it was plenty. But today, yeah, it's the hot hat. Up here, it's the hot hat up here. Any people in here from the Rigo stream? I don't know. I don't know, J.R. Smoke. I don't know. Maybe they are. Who is Kang, Jeffrey? Who is Kang? Um, and yesterday they cut my stream. Uh, y'all saw how much music I played. You're allowed to play 15-second clips of music, and that's all I played. I played very little music, and that's what they cut the stream for. For me playing the little bit of music that was basically the whole thing was each clip was 15 seconds. So it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Yep, Disney doesn't play any games, especially when it comes to us. There you go. Oh, Kong is out of there, lost everything. Kang. Okay. No, they don't. They don't. They try to put agenda. It's no doubt that they try to hit us with agenda every chance they can get. They hit us with agenda. So we know that, and the division, just like they tried to make the shit talking in the NCAA tournament some type of racist division. It was nothing. It was the incident that you really wouldn't even notice it happened so quick. I mean, the encounter with the two people, and that's where when you listen to people speak and they don't really watch the games and watch every detail, they can't really speak on it. But if you would have, if that nobody watched that, I, and really would have thought much about it. It happened so quick. They were just walking by each other, and then they moved on. They both moved on. So it's and Disney is trying to do the same thing, and it's all just setting up more division and more division. That's all. So that's just something we gonna have to uh expect. That's all. He just got fired. Okay, Kong is gone. Kang is out there. Yeah. The actor from Creed 2 is done. His career is over. He just got fired. Oh, they fired him? Okay. Oh, so they fired Majors. Majors got fired. Okay. It's always problem, reaction, solution. So Jonathan Majors got fired. I don't know. They tried to say they black. They did the same thing to Tiffany Haddish, but Tiffany Haddish got a movie coming out next month. It's either next month or June. So she got another movie coming out. They talking about why you ain't seen her when she's making a movie. So, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But if you listen to the Michael Jordan movie, they tell you exactly that. They'll build you up to the highest high. I mean, we saw it with Kevin Hart. Then he flips in a car. Then he got to admit he cheated. What about Tiger Woods? Tiger Woods was like one of the most humiliated men and emasculated men in the history of the world. He got to come on TV and say sorry for getting all these skags, knocking these skags down. He had a thing for dirty blondes. And so, I don't know, y'all. Oh, I don't. Ooh, here we go. Hmm. Oh, I know, I know, I know, I know. I'm getting that vibration, aren't I? I'm sorry, guys. Thank you, PJ. I know I was getting that vibration. Oh, no, he gave me something else. Oh, he gave me something else. Yes, there it is. Oh, okay. We can go get it. Nope, that's not it. That's not my size. Oh, there. Okay. This had cost me 50, but yeah, I gotta have it. This okay. I gotta have it. Thank you, brother PJ. I know I was probably messing up my sound too. I'm sorry, guys. Wasn't paying attention. It might have been turned off though. It's different when Carrie is in. Thank you. They start to bring things out of the air, things people don't even be thinking about, but they make a big thing about, and people just start arguing. That's a good point. It's not going to be any easier for the Warriors. The Kings had the best road record in the Western Conference. That they did. JR Smooth right now. Now this is what's funny. This is what's funny. I wonder if I could pull up their thing. Now, the high school game I went to 2 Saturdays ago, Friday, Saturday, we were sitting basically in the middle. Like we were sitting right about, we were like in row 10 in the middle. Right now, those tickets are going for $900. So center middle. However, when I went to the game earlier in the year, what game was that we went to earlier in the year and watched the Timberwolves play? Those tickets are 165. And so those tickets are like if you can imagine the baskets here and then there's some angle, like you sitting basket side, but you sitting like right here. Those tickets are about 165. But to sit in the middle is about $900. So you can look it up. You can see how much they are. Yep. Yeah, they're on Fanatics. Yeah. So I can get one. Thank you very much. I'll order that sucker today. uh, I'll order that sucker today because yeah, if I go down to the stadium, stuff is always more expensive at the stadium. It was just I get a discount. I got this one for like I think these were four. I just threw it 44, and there's no tax on clothes here, so whatever the price is, that's what you pay. So it's 44 something, but I get a discount because I'm part of the member, so it's like $35, I think. Yeah, but yeah, the Buxton jersey with the Minnesota across it is definitely next. Definitely next. So, very mild day up here. I mean, very mild day. I mean, it got cool last night. The furnace kicked on, but today was sunny. It got like 59, and up here, sunny and 59. When I was walking outside, because outlet is outside, it was comfortable. Plenty of people walking around, and then I went in the Mall of America. Real cool. Uh, and what's cool about the Mall of America? They have the only Red Lobster that I know of. Now there used to be a Red Lobster Taco Bell combination where I used to work. Trying to think what that little town is called, but it was one there, and there's been one at the Mall of America for at least 20 years, if not longer. That Mall of America, that Long John Silver's at the Mall of America, been there forever. And so anytime I go and I'm by myself, I usually eat at the Mall of America. Hey, it hits different when Damon joins the house. Damon 23. So I've always if I'm by myself, I'll go have lunch up there in Long John's, and it's great restaurants there. But Long John's is just something that I've been eating since I was a little boy that I enjoy, and it's not cheap anymore. I mean, because do you know how many places out there I could go where I got a $17 meal, $20 meal? It's a lot of restaurants I could have sat in because there it's like a la carte almost. You get your plate from them, and then you go sit down. But it was interesting how much inflation and everything, and something that really I'll tell you, and something that really should have made you like do you it's like some of these stores, you wonder how they stay open. Like some stores, you never see people shopping at them, like furniture stores. You never see people shopping at them. like, and it comes to make me realize there's a lot of money laundering going on. As I said, I operated a Health Rider store for their corporation, and they paid almost a year with we wasn't even open. It took them almost a year to give me all the stuff to open the store. And then once the store was open, we was only open for 6 months. So it made no sense. I mean, the whole thing, but it's just there's so many businesses like this where you know, now you can understand a car, because every time they sell a car, they making 30, 40, depending. So you can understand, seeing all this product on the land. Oh, and up here, it's become more and more common for cars to be inside. I don't know if y'all seeing that, but like the Mercedes dealers, the Audis dealers, the Jaguars, the Land Rovers, the Bentleys, because you can buy Bentleys here too. Um, they're all indoors. You want to see those cars, because I used to think it was odd. Here's all these Rolls Royces and they just out in the snow. But now most of those places are inside. There's been some restaurants, nobody in them, and they serve. Yeah, yeah. Like I told my story, I had a friend that got ruined in the pandemic. He lost all his restaurants, but other people. But even before the pandemic, like some of these places you never see people shop at. And I know at the Mall of America, I know some of those stores have to be rent has to be, man. I'm trying to think because they kind of told some numbers. Well, look at it like this. How was it? Because the Mall of America people who own it, they got behind in their rent during the pandemic, and they told how much it was made. And I'm kind of forgetting those numbers. So imagine like you have a shop with like say 800 square feet, and that's pretty big. Like you have a Finish Line or something. It's just you don't. It's not enough business. It just doesn't appear like it's enough business there. Like how do these places survive? And you just never. Now, as I said before, the Mall of America on a day like today, a Monday, there's 35,000 people there the whole time it's open today. That's generally the average, 35,000. Now on the weekend, there's over 100,000 there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a tourist attraction up here. A lot of people come here because we don't have taxes on our clothes. So a lot of people, charter buses and they'll spend a day. And there's two major hotels, and we're right across the street basically from the airport. You can take a train from the airport to the mall if your hotel don't give you a ride. A lot of times, hotels have deals where the hotel you stay will take you back and forth to the mall. So, so it blows my mind. You see these people that and what they sell, and I've even now this time I didn't catch it, but other times I've caught some drug dealing where you could see where because I saw some fiends like go back in the store, and I was like, whoa, what is these fiends doing? So I ain't saying no store names, but I don't know. Uh, you know what is under that mall? It's a reason for the mall, and it's not for a mall. Well, partly what's under it is the aquarium, Fish World, I think they call it, where the ceiling, the walls got the tanks and shit. It's like over you. That's part of what's there. I've been in the basement before, so I know what's there. Most people shop online nowadays. Brick and mortar is a dying breed. Well, I'll say yes and no. I'll say yes and no because some varieties you can find online, some varieties you can't. And you still got to go to the stores. When they drop them tennis shoes, most of the time you got to go in the stores to go get them. Like when the exclusive Jordans come out. So I say yes and no. The Mall of America is I mean it employs thousands of people. And as I said before, we got an outlet, and the outlet is closer to me than the mall is. The mall is another probably 5 to 8 minutes. So a lot of times I just go to the outlet. A lot of times I like did today, walk out, and if outlet ain't got what I want, I go to the mall. And then the other thing is like the outlets have things that you can't find online. They have some things in outlets that you literally can't find online. Like I told the story, I thought I had got my shirt stolen. I couldn't find another shirt like mine. I couldn't find it. I found different colors and different variations, but I couldn't find my sweatshirt. So I couldn't get another one. And I thought someone had taken out my car, and come to find out, some totes had failed. And before we left, I had I had meant to carry the sweatshirt with me because it was one of them days where it was kind of, we were still in jeans. So took the sweatshirt, put the sweatshirt down, put the totes up, left the sweatshirt there. So I thought some homeless dude done hit me up for my sweatshirt. So it's kind of back and forth. It's things that, yeah, you can get online, but it's things that the stores have kind of exclusively sometimes too, especially the outlets. It's like this, the stuff I got today. It wasn't this. I got this from Macy's, but I did go to the Polo outlet, and the shit came to 52. And she was like, "You don't you have?" Because I gave my number. She's like, "Don't you have coupons?" I'm like, "I don't know." She showed me how to look the coupons up. Boom, got another $15 off of it. So yeah, sometimes, but sometimes more. Sometimes exclusive stuff be in the store. Sometimes. Ja, it's different when you come in. Oh, deep underground military base? Maybe. People are selling sneakers online. That's a whole business now. Yeah, that's it is. It's and this is what's interesting. Young dudes don't wear the newest Jordans. It's like when I wear my new Jordans, young dudes don't wear them. Everybody wears the retro stuff. Nobody wears really the new stuff, which is interesting. It's really interesting that the new stuff people don't wear unless they play basketball in them. But for walking around, they wear the old stuff, which to me aren't made as well for one, and they're not as comfortable. Because I know why many said that the new LeBrons are some of the best shoes ever made, and I agree. I agree. The new ones are. I tried some on today. I still think I'm gonna go buy the Jason Tatum's instead of those though, because Jason puts a little more in the forefoot that I like. So, you love couponing. I dig it. I dig it. Me too. Appreciate anybody from Ringo Stream coming here. Rigo. I don't know who Rigo is. Um, there's a whole other world underground, literally miles and miles. They have stores and everything. Well, I don't know if at the Mall of America they got all that. Uh, well, thank you, Junior. Smooth. He's different. It's different when OTF. When they turn the magnets off. Did you see that final shot he took? Did you see that final shot he took when Curry made that final shot and just the way he threw it up there? Did you guys, okay, first half. Did you guys see that shot he made in the first half? He just threw it up with one hand. Do y'all remember that shot in the first half? Curry just threw it up with one hand. He was floating to his left and he just threw it up with one hand. They show you where Klay Thompson double dribbled and the refs don't call double dribble. Y'all remember that? Remember? It was double. He double dribbled. He caught the ball. See, and that's what people forget. If you catch the ball on a bounce, like two things you can't do. You can't power bounce with both hands. That's double dribble. You can't take the ball and do a power bounce. That's double dribble. And you can't catch the ball. Like if you steal it and you bounce it, keep bouncing it. But as soon as you pick it up, you can't dribble again. And they showed Klay Thompson around NBA refs, and none of them called it. None of them called it. Why is that? They had to see it. It's right next to him. So some stuff they just let go. They guarantee that mall's connected to every base in your state. Well, I will say this. It is connected to the airport. I just said that. And our airport has a air base on it, connected to it too. We have an Air National Guard base at our airport. All right. So yes, they are connected. That mall is connected to that airbase or to the airport. Now, as far as the logistics of what you're explaining, I can't verify any of that. But I can agree with you to say that they are connected because you can take the train from the airport. Now, the airbase is on the other side, closer to Minneapolis side. It would be more north of where you would take commercial flights. It's a little north. So, um, I talked about this, and I've been talking about this the last couple days, and I don't know, maybe a little later, give it a little more. Funny how, yeah. So yeah, we saw a lot of that in both games. Again, we see him turn on the Magnus last game for Harding. They turned on the Magnus a little bit for Harding. But what about Justin Hurst's contract? Jalen Hurst's contract today. You see, they gave him what 255 million. So do you think he's going to win the championship? I bet you anything they're going to let him win the championship. Now, and right now they're saying that Aaron Rodgers is going to be make 50 million a year next year, and he's staying with the Packers, which I thought was odd because they didn't give him anything to work with. They haven't built a team around him in years, so it was odd, that he signed the first contract, and then he actually this contract was his last, but then to extend 3 years with this organization that they're not putting anything around him, so we'll see. Uh, just bring people to the mall. They definitely do. Um, I'll tell you, no, that shot that DeAndre Fox made for the Kings to 99 was obviously basket manipulated. I agree. Right now I'm saying what Charles Barkley said. I have I'm gonna go with Lakers making it. I'm just gonna go with Lakers making it to the Western Conference Finals. That's one thing. They've got the easiest way to get to the Western Conference Final. I think they're going to get there. And I'll say just early, it appears like they're going to let Philadelphia is kind of hitting. They're letting them hit on all cylinders, as it says. But I think Philadelphia is going to make the finals too. So that would just be two of my early predictions. Were people saying that is it possible for the Lakers to win it all? They could script it. It wouldn't surprise me. The way the Lakers are set in is they could script the Lakers to win. Yeah. And the Lakers have gotten a lot younger, and those additions to the defense, especially Vanderbilt and Beasley and D'Lo. It's they're a team it's gonna be something to deal with. JAA says, who do you think will win, Suns or the Clippers? I still think they're going to push the Suns through. But we'll see. They dropped in one at home. Suns win finals or Celtics. Celtics, maybe. The Celtics' greatest thing would be Bill Russell. That would be the best thing for the Suns would be Bill Russell. So, but Jackson can't get his 180 because of no agent. Yeah, that's all it's about with Jackson. He's being penalized for not playing the game the way they want the game to be played. Because they don't want to happen what LeBron had with Maverick Carter, a person that really didn't do everything to be an agent, but yet got all the power and is the power agent now. So they are afraid of that because just think if everybody goes to because you can get a contract lawyer. You can get a lawyer to go through your contract. You can get a lawyer to negotiate, but you don't really need that. And that's what Lamar is trying to show you, that you're giving him away money that you don't really want to. But the system wants that. Because again, contract law is, you can hire somebody from contract law. And then realistic incentives to put in there. You can hire a lawyer for that. You don't need an agent for that. But the league wants that. And that's why he's being penalized. But he was smart. He didn't do, people remember what Washington did to RG3 and how he ruined his career playing in them playoff games. People haven't forgot that. And I don't blame him for holding out. So, so you don't think the Suns winning it all? I think we talked about that a little bit last night. We know they don't like new teams to win. And I think if we look in the last 20 years, the only new teams to win was Dallas, Miami, and Toronto. And Toronto. But dare say Toronto, if we go to BAA and ABL, I think it was called, or AB, what was it called? Um, I think because the Warriors won the very first one, and was it Toronto that won the very second one? Yeah, the NBL started in 47. I want to say, I don't know. We could look at that. Mike could look at that. And yeah, the BAA came in 46, and then they combined in 40. They don't combine until 49. Yeah, the BAA and NBL combined to the NBA in 49, which would make it what, 73 years. But we see the NBA, the BAA is probably the set 37 is probably the date. Yeah, Jackson won't get an agent. He doesn't need an agent. Suns ain't winning it all with Chris Paul there. Plus, Bucks own them anyway. Well, we have to see the situation of Giannis to see how hurt Giannis is or not. Lobo put a good video out that most people wear pads. They wear the like the old football thigh pads and butt pads. So he had padding on too. Not to say it didn't fall and the big man falling, but ooh. I think I accidentally put some eucalyptus in my water. Yeah. I don't think it'll hurt me, but I taste a little something in there. Because I think as I was touching everything, for correspondence, you see Austin Reeves, Chris Paul, the lovable loser. Did you see Austin Reeves? Remind me about Austin Reeves. CO Life, the NBA is so fake. They pushed that bum James to get a ring. Miami in 06, Dallas in 11, Cleveland in 16, and Toronto. Yeah, I forgot the Cleveland. That's right. So in the 20 years, it's everybody else has been the same teams over and over again. That's why they love the Lakers. The story is always the Lakers, because what saved the league is, everyone knows, is the Lakers. The Lakers and the Celtics is what saved the league. And so the league has to highlight them every few years, because financially the league is doing well. I mean, even the weaker teams are still selling out. It's not like they need, the big names to come in town and sell out. The teams are already selling out. And when you win, that helps too. But even when the teams that lose, they still sell out. And like the Detroit Lions, I know we're talking about football, but Detroit Lions will never win anything. They haven't won a championship of any type since the 50s. I think it's 55, 56, and 57. Or it's 54, 55, and 56, something like that. They won those championships before the Ford family bought them. But they still sell out. So people accept, losing, generational losing, long as they have their team to cheer for. I know people that die hard Lions fans. Like my best friend, he's been a Lions fan. He left Michigan at 12, grew up here from 12, went back to University of Michigan. And so, but he's stayed a Lions fan since he was a little boy. And that's how a lot of people in Michigan are. Diehard Lion fans. So it just makes you see that they speak about winning, and everybody says they want to win the championship when the thing starts, but realistically, these teams know who's going to win and can't win. Now I don't know when they say some players say there's more talent all the way around. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, because think about if you have a smaller product, like when there was like 12 teams, and each team was pretty decent. Now, yes, there were teams that weren't as good as other teams, of course. But look at how they scripted in the 50s and 60s. They only thought they could survive if the Celtics won every year. That was the only thing they knew. They knew that they had to have the Celtics, because the Celtics won. They won 8 out of 10. And the only exception was Wilt winning in I think 66, 67, and then Bob Pettit winning in 58. What was Lorenzo? Was Bob Pettit when the Hawks beat him 58, 59, or 57, 58? I get those that mixed up. But in that 10 years period, they won 10, but this is the league pushing this too. Because we see games where they should have lost. And I found oh, I'm off. Mm, something kicked me out. Wow. Something kicked me out. I wonder why. It ended my stream. Ooh. They kicked me out. I don't think they erased me, but surely kicked me out. Oh, I don't think I'm still going, no. No, am I still going? Oh. Oh, okay. Where am I hearing that at? Oh, I turned it back on. That's where. All right, I guess I'm still going. It did something funny. It did something funny. Okay. Yeah, Bob Pettit and they won in 58. Okay, over the Celtics. They won the title. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they was in St. Louis. And that's what you see in the Sweetwater movie, and that's what the problem was because St. Louis is in the South. So when teams would travel down there, if you watch you watched Bill Russell's documentary, he tells you about when the okay, when okay, I'm hearing that. All right, that's coming through there. Sorry about that. Okay, so they show when they would go to one year they went in St. Louis and St. Louis wouldn't feed them and they went home. Bill Russell, the Joneses and Satch Sanders, they left. So we see that. Warriors going home? Yeah, I think the Warriors are going home. I think so too. So I think so too. I think the Warriors are going home too. So yeah. You seen that movie with Ernie D back in the day? The Express, I think it's called Ernie D. DeGregorio. Ernie D. Ernie D played at Providence. And I want to say, nah, yeah, Ernie D, because Ernie D played with Randy Smith in Buffalo, and he played with Bob McAdoo. He might even play with Bad News Bob. Bad News Barnes was up there too. And let's not forget that Moses Malone was in Buffalo as well at one point. So, yeah, I think I watched it, but a long time ago. But yeah, Ernie D used to play with Bob McAdoo. Oh, this is what I was hearing. Oh, I'm hearing this. Okay. Used to play with Bob McAdoo. And people forget how good, I always say that Bob McAdoo should have been a coach, but people forget he's the only MVP of the league that ain't in the Hall of Fame. Did y'all know that? Bob McAdoo is the only MVP other than the current players, but he's the only MVP of the NBA that is not a Hall of Famer. Of all the MVPs of the 70 some years, everyone is in the Hall of Fame, barring the current players. But everyone is in the Hall of Fame except Bob McAdoo. And my last that I thought, I still do not think he's in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, it's a lot easier for me. Celtics getting their sixth loss, tribute to Bill Russell. Shame ritual. Well, they got shame last year too. I don't think it was necessarily a better team that beat them, but we see what they do for Curry. Um, Now, what did y'all think about when Draymond got put out the game? Did y'all think that he should have been put out the game? I didn't think he should have been put out the game because you try not to lay on somebody. He was trying to clear his leg, and then dude grabs his leg. So then he kind of stomped him. It's like, what you grabbing me for? And maybe he was because if he was grabbing him into thinking he wasn't gonna get stomped, he was mistaken. So I thought that was bogus. That's what I thought. I thought it was bogus. So, I've been kind of showing this special, and I'm gonna show you, kind of what they still got going on up here. See where the shit is. Oh, we're still going through this up here too. So I want to show this. And you people that live on the river, it's coming to you too. So you live in the Melton.
For the worst as levels start to rival those of the historic flood of 1965. The areas where the Elk River meets the Mississippi close to Bailey Point Nature Reserve are in immediate danger. WCCO's Reg Chapman talked with people watching the water.
It's a sight and sound many who live in low-lying areas of Elk River are used to. But this year, the rising waters of the Elk and Mississippi rivers has them watching and waiting to see what happens next.
This was the high water mark of 1965. You know, we never felt the water would get this high again.
Jerry Jackson has been down this road before.
We have 1,000 feet on the Mississippi here. It's all lake right now.
He remembers the historic flood of 1965, and looking now at his property, he watches wood ducks swim in what once was his front yard. Seeing their birdhouses swallowed by the rising waters has this lifelong Elk River resident concerned.
I wasn't worried. It's been coming up, for the last week. It was up, for the last week.
As this lifelong Elk River resident concerned. Long Elk River resident concerned.
Look at this crib, y'all. Look at this crib. How much you think this crib is worth? He lives on the Mississippi River, and this is Elk River. This is quite north. And what's interesting, this is about an hour, golly, for me, this is about an hour north, but this is not cheap living right here, y'all. That is not cheap living. This house probably is 4,000 to 5,000 square feet on the river.
I wasn't worried. It's been coming up, for the last week, it was coming up over a foot a day.
Bailey Point Nature Reserve is where the Elk and Mississippi River meet. All who live here know what to do when the water spills its banks and heads towards their homes.
We moved the stuff out of the neighbor's garage there yesterday.
The red flag is where Jackson and his neighbor marked where the water stopped yesterday. The water up 6 inches in less than 24 hours.
We've got our low-lying areas, and I've been trying to go around talking to the residents in the low-lying areas, letting them know what they could do to start being prepared.
Fire Chief Mark Dickerson is making his rounds to the close to 30 homes in harm's way. This homeowner attempted to build a dirt berm around the house, but the truck got stuck in the mud. So he watched as the Elk River surges and moves closer to causing big problems for homeowners. In Elk River, Reg Chapman, WCCO News.
Elk River is looking at moderate flooding after the river's crest, but they are preparing for the worst.
Wow, guys. Again, this is not near me, so I'm not really affected by it, but it's not far away. I'll tell you that. It's not far away. Another story we've been following. See if we can catch it. Oh, here we go. We've been following this all week, and don't quite remember his story.
To a domestic call in the town of Cirrus, which is about 2 hours west of the Twin Cities. His partner, Deputy Brody Merrill, and a Starbucks police officer were also shot but survived. The gunman was killed. Today, people across the state turned out to honor Deputy Owen. WCCO's.
So we decided we wanted to pay our respects, and so we stopped at the next overpass and got in line here.
A procession of law enforcement vehicles escorted the body of Deputy Josh Owen from the medical examiner's office in the Twin Cities to his home in Glenwood. Along the more than 100-mile route, people crowded overpasses and streets to show their support.
It's terrible. They're here to protect us and take care of us, and we need to respect that, and we honor them every day.
Hundreds greeted the procession in Glenwood as Deputy Owen's body was taken to a local funeral home. Many of the supporters knew him personally.
There's going to be a lot of talk about this young man. A lot of good talk. A lot of memories.
There's just too much in this world that's not okay, and we need our police, and they have been. Every police in this town has touched my life over the 40 years, and we need them.
Enjoy, man. Thank you. Yep. we show up just unannounced and just give away free coffee.
Jeff Van Grinsven never knew Deputy Owen and came from Bemidji. He and his son run Heroes Rise Coffee Company. They give away free beverages to communities who have suffered a loss, like Glenwood has.
It's always heartbreaking. You try not to get choked up about it, like now. But we met the parents today, totally unexpected. And man, great people, a great brother.
The funeral for Deputy Owen will take place at 10:30 on Saturday morning at Minnewaska High School. His partner, Deputy Brody Merrill, who was also shot on Saturday, is said to be doing well physically, but his family says he's devastated by the loss of one of his best friends. In Glenwood, John Lordson, WCCO 4 News.
And tonight we're hearing from Minnesotans who knew Deputy Owen well.
Good guy, great guy, just a great parent, and he loved to talk about his dog that he was training.
All right. Okay, you guys kind of get that. You know, it's never good that when that happens. So it's been picked up around here lately. Yeah, this story can go next.
It's everything you wish for.
Okay. See, Lorenzo says in Times, they fix and suspend him, sees that I am the minority by saying that the Hawks beat the Celtics. The Hawks can beat the Celtics. Hawks beat the Celtics in 58 finals. 5 + 3, 5 + 8 = 3. Also, the playoff record against the Celtics will be 3-10, 13 connection. Good work. CL, you think that house costs $400,000? No, it don't. Not up there, it doesn't. The crib is worth $500,000. No, it ain't. Not up there on the river. That house is on the river. Do you guys understand that? That house is on the river. The only thing that makes it not $1 million is where it's at. Forest Lake has a lake in the middle of the town, and it's on the Mississippi River too, and part of it's on the Mississippi River. Part of the people live around this big lake, and then the other part live on the Mississippi. So that house is probably 9 something. In this market, being there on the river, that house is probably 9 something. No way the Hawks win it all. Well, you know, they were bad mouthing Trae Young. They were really bad mouthing Trae Young. On the trading block, he was deferring to that other guard. I mean, you guys was checking that out. He kept deferring to the other guard. And so I don't know what's up with Trae Young. I was never impressed with him. I always thought, you know, he was a Plant or MK Ultra guy, because remember of his career, if you remember when he was in college, he what is this? And I'm gonna play this briefly. I showed this before. They say it's amended, so let's see how they amended it. Because we have a big Muslim community here, so let's see how they amended it.
As of today, Minneapolis is the first major city in the country allowing mosques to broadcast all 5 daily calls to prayer over a loudspeaker. Here's WCCO's David Schumann.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
The Muslim call to prayer, recited in here, heard out there.
It is a very simple message to share the greatness of God and to call people to success.
Allahu Akbar. 5 times a day, Muslims gather to pray at mosques, but the broadcast for the pre-dawn and nighttime prayers weren't allowed in Minneapolis until now. The city eliminated time constraints from the part of its noise ordinance related to religious worship. In the summer, that means the call could go out as early as 3:30 a.m. and as late as 11 p.m.
Sometimes when you don't hear adhan and you sleep.
Oh, let me tell you, I saw Omar at the mall. She was hiding. She had a big pair of glasses on. But I saw Omar. She passed me in the mall today. She had a big pair of glasses on, which truly threw off her appearance. But I saw her in the mall today.
You cannot wake up and come to the adhan. Now it's clear, like crystal. You hear and you'll be happy to.
Now, again, this is all the Somalians. And I've told the story before why the Somalians are here in Minneapolis. Number one, they brought all those Hmong here because I've told the story before. The Hmong helped fight the Vietnamese. So the Vietnamese started going after them. And they brought hundreds of thousands of them here. The same thing with the Somalian community. When they, Black Hawk Down, they picked one side and that tribe lost, and they started wiping that tribe out that worked with the Americans. So they brought 50, 60,000 here. But if you look at the history of why these people became Muslim, it's almost like you have the Ashkenazis became Jewish faith. You have a people that was like, one side you got these Christians that's killing everybody, and the other side you got these Muslims that's slaving everybody and killing people too. So it was like, because even when you read the book about the Tsar, and they're in Ethiopia, you still read this stuff and you like, wow, you understand why they pick one or the over the other.
Come and pray and join.
Leaders in the Muslim community say only a couple of the city's mosques currently broadcast the call to prayer at all, but more may now start.
We built America on this basic principle of freedom of religion. And so today, actually, it's a victory for our Constitution, because our Constitution is for all Americans, not just some Americans.
Dar al-Hidra's imam says he would encourage mosques in neighborhoods where most people are not Muslim to refrain from all 5 calls. For his mosque, he expects this change will attract more people.
What we provide in the mosque,
wow, they're recruiting Muslims, huh? They need more American Muslims. Okay.
it's not only for the spiritual, but also we do a lot of other part of the healing too, because we believe for mind, body, and soul.
In Minneapolis, David Schumann, WCCO 4 News.
The Minneapolis City Council approved the ordinance change unanimously. 3 of the 13 council members are Muslim.
Whoa, can you say voting block? Can you say voting block? That is a tremendous voting block. But that's what we got going on up here in the Great White North. I think this movie Chevalier, I think I'm gonna go see that. It looks pretty good. I'm debating if I want to go see Big George Foreman. I could have went to see Dungeons and Dragons. We got a bunch of free passes. Yeah. So they won't beat the Celtics, unfortunately, after the Bill Russell got sacrificed. We could see. Oh, you got some state line value to it. First time I saw a Muslim prayer, I asked my dad, "What is he doing?" He told me that's how Muslims pray. Yeah. Anyone's been to Chicago, you know, they have Sundays. I think Sundays they do the call to prayer, because they used to do when actually this goes back to when Elijah Muhammad used to speak. They had a speaker on the outside and you could hear him speak. And I think Chicago used to, you know, if you're around the Muslim University there, that little plot that the black Muslims occupy, Farrakhan now, his branch occupies. But it seems like they used to do that too. So again, nothing like that when I lived in Greensboro in the late 70s, early 80s. But I did, my freshman year, used to go to prayer every Friday afternoon. I walked down there, but I couldn't do it daily. It was just too busy, you know, playing football. So Fridays, you know, playing football Fridays was our lighter day, because we just did a walkthrough. We didn't really practice, so I had more time. You know, I could juggle my school because I was walking. I'd have to walk to the mosque and then walk back to campus, you know. So, but Fridays, I kept that up my freshman year. Yeah. So, you're talking about the movie Brother wearing George Washington wig. Yeah. He's it's a movie about the French Revolution. That's what it's about. It's a movie about the French Revolution, and this brother apparently has something to do with it. I just caught something that was talking about him, the true story of him, but I'll do the movie breakdown after I study about him. But yeah, that movie. On the Indian reservation, well, I'm not a big gambler, so I don't spend a whole bunch of time over there, but I do go to the powwows. I think you can look back where I was at the powwow. I'll just record it this year and try not to go live, because their internet is funky out there. I've said before, when I play pickleball on the reservation, like if I try to play music, I have to put the speaker in the right place, because my phone, and maybe since I got away from Verizon, maybe it'll work a little better. But the reservation, no, other people saying they have problems out there too. So something with the phone service out there. But yeah, so yeah, not a whole lot of time. You know, Prior Lake is mostly a big part of Prior Lake is the reservation where Mystic Lake Casino is. So not a whole lot of time. Those people consider themselves Europeans. I mean, they go through all the rituals and stuff of being natives, but if you look at them, and I'm not saying appearance, I'm saying just their mentality. They consider themselves European. And I back this by saying we had a racist, so-called racist incident a few years ago. And what the way the tribe gets the most money is that, you know, the closest are you related to the head chief. And the head chief's granddaughter was talking stuff about melanated people. You know, calling her the word, saying we hope you die. So this girl, now think about it, this girl when she did it, she was only in 7th grade. She got in trouble in 9th or 10th. So she did it when she was in 7th grade, but you see the way she was raised. This girl on the reservation, she's on the reservation when they started getting money. Now, I went to the reservation before them people got money, and them people was living in shacks. And I ain't saying just raggedy, but their standard of living has went up 1,000,000,000%. But her mentality and the way she was raised, despite all this, you know, her being constantly around, saying they're on their land, but her mentality and the way she thought was she was European, if you understand. So, yeah, they adopt European ways. Oh, indeed. And I've told the story before of the friend. Shoot, she turned 18 and she got something like it was something like $20-30 million. She didn't even graduate from high school. As soon as she turned 18, she moved out. She built her like a 10,000 square foot house. And I used to see her. She had one of the first G-Wagons around here, or the first I noticed. I used to see her all the time. And I don't know what she drove. I haven't seen her in a number of years. My ex fell out with her grandmother. But they allow me to come to the powwows. Yeah, I was about to go as the weather's nicer to see if I can go back up to the circle and charge my stuff up. Because the powwow, you know, I showed the midwinter powwow, then the big powwow's not till August. So I'm going to see, you know, if there's any, because they have a circle up there and everything. So I'm going to see if I can charge my stuff up before August. Because I'm probably going to try to do a live on the solstice in June at the Mounds in St. Paul. So that's what I plan to do. If it works out where my son goes with me, because it's kind of rough part of town over there. And it's good to have folks with you sometime. And, you know, I'm trying to, and, you know, I don't want to be weighed down by having to take protection, you know, that kind of thing. But it is kind of a sort of rougher side of town in some ways. But again, the point is to go to try to get the spiritualness of it no matter what. So I plan to do that on 2021st. Because, you know, we are getting into the long days. And I hope what I'm going to consistently try to do is get done broadcasting, and I'm going to head to Prior Lake and start playing pickleball. The whole month of May, I'm going to try to make every morning to play pickleball twice a day. So, and become a lot better this year. Maybe play in tournaments. I'm starting to find ways you can lift weights to get your quickness, because it's just hand quickness. So, you know, working with ropes. You know, I've been doing a little exercise, give me a little more power to make my hands come up quicker. It's kind of like almost, I bet even hitting a speed bag would probably help. So, because it's a lot of quick hands, and I've it's things that, you know, as you get older, you know, you find things that your body can do that won't hurt you as bad. And pickleball is that thing that kind of, a lot of skills that I've had my whole life, I can still kind of perform, I guess is the best way to say it. Yeah, so let's see. Let's go back.
Some members of Minnesota's Muslim communities.
Okay. Nah, I don't know much about this cat. Because I don't know. Let me see. I don't know how much music is going to play. Let's see if music's playing.
Today?
Yeah, more music.
Massively.
So I don't know. I'm going to let this play for a minute and see about this cat. So this is the real cat. This is what the real cat looked like. Shayla Fair with a lunch for history talents from genius violinists. Great European soldier that overcame the social stigma of loved and admired. Even envied by Mozart and even the U.S. president. That's Marie Antoinette. So let's see if we can speed through. So they sailed to France, and this is France, where he must that same year. What does it say? Boulogne rapidly became one of the best master of arms. Okay, so trying to go quickly through it. He described young Joseph as well-built with great physical strength, supple and slim with astonishing speed. No one showed as much gracefulness and discipline when sticking somebody in the ass with a sword. By 15, he was beating the best swordsman at the academy at 15. 17, he was the best, one of the best swordsmen in Europe. But there were others that believed a man of Joseph's skin color could never be skilled. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see.
Publicly duel his mulatto. Now, this word is used to describe a person who's of mixed African and European ancestry. And although it's now dated, it was incredibly offensive.
That is not what mulatto means. What a mulatto is a term for an animal. A mulatto is, okay, normally horses, let me get it right, because I get this mixed up. So normally mules can't get horses pregnant, horses have to get mules pregnant. But if a mule gets a horse pregnant, that is a mulatto. A mulatto is a hybrid. So that's what the term comes from. You don't see it come into the term with people really until the first instant that you can see it and look it up is actually a Italian reference in the 1500s. Is the first time it was actually, used, because they were trying to describe the people coming from that Columbus took, the few that survived. And they were trying to describe some of those people. So
Offensive in France. Picon used the word as an insult, and it was taken as such. Joseph accepted the challenge. The match quickly drew a huge crowd.
Ooh.
Its supporters seeing something bigger in the duel.
Ooh.
The crowd found itself divided between people who believed in the superiority of Picon's skin color.
Okay, so I guess he's his trainer or something, because he looks melanated. He doesn't really look, who is, it's like, which dude is the melanated dude? It's obviously the chubby guy, but what? What is this?
And those who did not.
Okay, let's get away from this creepy music.
Meaning knight in English. He could finally take his father's title, and for the first time in his life, he was Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier du Saint-Georges.
Okay, let's see the
Who did
sword
not.
fight.
Alexandre Picon came to humiliate a young man and prove his supporters right. After all the hype, Joseph would handily defeat the fencing master Picon. And even though
I say he kicked his ass.
it was just a fencing match, it seemed to push public opinion just a little bit in the right direction. Joseph would go on to become a champion fencer. He'd graduate from the academy and earn the title of Chevalier, meaning knight in English.
PJ said the dude with the Washington wig on.
He could finally take his father's title, and for the first time in his life, he was Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier du Saint-Georges.
Dang.
By this time in his life, Saint-Georges was already immensely popular, especially with the women of Paris. He was handsome, athletic, intelligent, and graceful. He was the perfect gentleman. He dazzled Parisian society, and his company became highly valued. Before he was 20 years old, two famous composers had already dedicated their works to him. It was these friendships that may have led him to what would become the true love of his life: music. In 1769, bewildered Parisians looked up to the stage and saw Joseph Boulogne, the best swordsman in France, playing amongst the violins of one of Paris's finest orchestras. He had never told anyone that he could even play violin.
He could get down. He was
He would
getting
be
down.
concertmaster within 2 years, meaning he was the best of the violins. By 1772, he was getting standing ovations for his solo performances. The following year, he was named the symphony's director. Joseph's meteoric rise through the music world of Paris would make his
Now, looking at this picture, you would think he was European. Who is it? Is this supposed to be a melanated person? Who drew this?
celebrity soar to new heights. It was during this time that he began to be called La Mozart Noire, which meant the Black Mozart. Joseph was free to do whatever he wanted, to follow any passion that struck him, thanks to his father, who had never ceased his support of Boulogne.
Oh, commercial. Oh, my goodness. Oh, aim high. Oh, not another one. Well, I'm kind of losing interest in Chevalier. Unless y'all want to hear more, I'm losing interest. I don't give a damn. I saw enough. Well, let's see what happened in 1774. Here we go.
Guadeloupe. In his will, George had left Joseph and his mother Nanon a healthy son, but against his father's wishes and according to French law, it was given instead to Joseph's sister, George's legitimate daughter from his marriage. Joseph was left only with a heart full of grief for the man who had showed him love when most would have cast him aside. With no money to his name, he would have to rely on his own talents to get him by.
Wait a minute. If he was popular all this time, he wasn't getting paid? He was free to do what he wants, so that was the only way he get money is from daddy.
He had many to choose from. Over just the next couple of years, he would participate in hundreds of duels, direct a symphony, perform solos, upstart a genre of classical music in France, compose 20 pieces of music, write comedies, and he once even had a boxing match. In 1776, the Paris Opera was struggling, financially and creatively. Boulogne was the obvious choice for the next director. But once again, he was reminded that not everything was about skill, and that his color was something that some people just could not get by. 3 of the opera's leading ladies presented a petition to Queen Marie Antoinette, assuring Her Majesty that their honor and delicate conscience.
All right, I've lost interest in them. So if y'all want to go see the movie, we know he had something to do with the French Revolution, and he sided with Napoleon's people. Yeah, let's see. We find himself the favorite of the future king. Blah, blah, blah. House out of ordinary occurred. Began to scare all the people of Paris, and it always weighed of his color over and over again. The men would fight bravely under St. George. Okay, so he fought in the war against, I guess he fought on Napoleon's side. Made sure that they were treated like other soldiers. The black soldiers wanted to fight. The Reign of Terror, with 13 months, it's now called, where Jacques Pierre was off with their heads. Now, if you study now this is interesting, and this was the only time where the rich people got killed, because there's a movie, it's a black and white movie, and it is one of the best movies about the French Revolution. But it goes about this year of terror, and what it tells you is if you even knew someone in the nobility, if you worked for him, that was your ass. If you knew him, that was your ass. They were killing people for knowing. Like, no time in history where did the common people kill the elites. Now, again, we have the Rothschilds on one side putting money in. So we had, feeding it. Certain people that wanted that kingship out of there too. But this is the one time where not only did you just overthrow the king, they tried to kill all the nobles, all the elites. And it says here 26,000 people died from being hung and associated with the royals or the elites. That's an interesting, and again, the thing they say about the French, but this had never been done where people actually went after the common people went after the elites. And none of their relatives or anything really did anything about it. So that's kind of interesting. That part's a little bit interesting. Stevie Wonder isn't blind. I don't know. Tabernacle of David. It's different when you come in. Voorhees the native. It is different when you come in. So it's not about color, about nationality. Well, his nationality was messed up. They didn't dig him. Let me see what else I can find out. What? They executed his ass? What is this?
Jean Saint-Georges.
I don't need that. Cut that off. He would fight bravely under St. George. Okay. Disguising during the Austin. Oh, he fought in a couple wars. He fought with Netherlands. Harsh orders to make sure they were treated like any other soldier. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. His own execution. Why? One final stroke of luck. The people of France decided they had seen enough and they had created this law of suspects. They turned on the committee. Later that year, Joseph was finally freed. So he was about to get his head cut off. And a few minutes before, Joseph could think of nothing but his own. But he heard the news. So he was freed and didn't get off with his head. So, yeah. So, I don't know. The movie will probably be a good movie. That's just kind of a preview. It's a melanated person that has, the African stuff's going to come in. So, how long? Because I do got to get up early. I definitely got to get up early in the morning. So I wasn't going to go terribly long tonight. Okay. I think you left me that long thing. All right. We're not going to be preached at. I mean, you be respectful. You can put your opinion, but we're not going to be preached at. So know that when you come in. But so far, you've been respectful. So your opinion is welcome. Yeah, it's when you bring information in and you look at even your own situation, and you really got to look at so many of these stories, and it all goes back to really, what does this mean to me? It really goes back to that. And it goes back to, if you listen to something and get emotional about it. Like last night was one of the few times I got emotional. And I'm kind of glad I was off camera because I feel so passionate about the ball field. And when I see everything that we are as a people combined, I can't help get compassionate because I see it like no one else sees it, the importance of it. So that's all. Last time a Jordan film dropped, LeBron won the championship. Chevalier, Cavalier, King Charles, King James' only son. Army was called the Cavaliers. Prince Charles became king this year. Yeah, that's a good breakdown, researcher. That is a good breakdown. Well, thank you, Sil. I appreciate that. That was a great breakdown, researcher. And that's why Charles Barkley said it. I said this last night. Charles Barkley said it. Charles Barkley said everybody know the Lakers gonna make the finals. And he said it matter-of-factly. So we'll see. We'll see. But they do give things out there. I mean, remember a year ago when Kenny said the only way North Carolina was up, damn near 30 at halftime? And Kenny told everybody what was about to happen. Missing shots, ton of turnovers. And how did the game start? Missing shots, ton of turnovers. So Kenny was telling you they was about to lose. So, yeah, Chicago elected a brother, but the brother seems to have the same agenda as Lori Lightfoot. So we'll see. Because of what it looks like with these melanated people running, especially from the Democrats. A lot of Democrats running these towns, they want to show you that the Democratic ran towns are out of control. Hence, we had the Floyd thing and the way that reverberated around the world. But that seems to be. We had the thing down in Memphis, a few years ago. And so they want to show you almost they're showing you a live version of Birth of the Nation. That's what they're showing you. They're showing you a live version of Birth of a Nation. And what Birth of the Nation was trying to show you is that if you let the melanated people govern, they can't govern. And they're corrupt. And they're lazy. So when we see some of these incidents and you see the melanated people being, the mayor, the police officer, police chief, makes you see that this has to be some type of agenda. And as we always say, people get so fed up on saying fake news, but what you have to really understand is, yes, it's fake and it's real at the same time. It's both. There are parts of it that's fake, and then there are parts of it that's real. And that's really more to confuse everybody. Because there's going to be one group that says this is just all fake. There's other people that's going to say, well, we need to be cautious because this just happened. When the truth lies more in the middle of what actually happened. So, just something to consider, y'all. Order out of chaos. Let's say, you taking the words right from me. Yeah. Order out of chaos. And that is, any books you go to, and that's why you really got to read their writings. You really got to read how they feel about things. You can't close your mind just because, they tell you how they feel about things, and they tell you how things are done. And the rituals and the signs. It's just we have to do the research to find this stuff. Because some people, you can say these things are happening, but you have to point to where it's coming from. And so that's why I bring some of these books out here to say, you have to look at these possibilities and how they're doing these things. Because all is revealed. There's no really secrets of how they're doing it. I mean, yes, they want to hide the names of the entities that truly run this thing, and they're trying to tell you that the AI is just now, when the thing started with the AI. Whichever being took over, it was able to paint this picture that we live in. Again, he had the AI with him from the very beginning, which is called the Mai. And if you study any of that Anunnaki stuff, that's the most important thing, especially Stinchon's work. The Mai is the most important thing that comes out of all that. And I'm the only one that really talks about it. And that is the techno god. Because Stinchon's, in his writing, he tells you the war of the gods. They fought for this thing. They shot atom bombs at trying to get this thing back. Or some type of, the ultimate weapon is what it's called in the writings. It's called the ultimate weapon. And they tried to hit Marduk with the ultimate weapon. And they say that's where the Dead Sea comes from. Now, you can look, something killed that area. However, we know other places got hit. We know in the Verda writings of ancient India, we know that the areas there got hit with some type of ultimate weapon as well. So this thing has been around in different social societies have had the same similar type of technology. So they're lying to say that the AR is not taking out. Charles Barkley, remember, LeBron crowned himself at the end of the regular season. Also remember, LeBron crowned himself. That's right. My city was off the hook last week in Detroit. It seems planned. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. Let's collapse that. Oh, changed up on me. Okay. There we go. So this is just some things to consider. That's all. As you do your research, as you have an opinion about society. And that's maturity is not listening to see the maturity is listening to these stories without emotion. Because when the government, what they've tried to do is the last few years emotionally drain us and see how much people will tolerate. And that's the thing on the guns and stuff. Trying to throw those statistics talking about, how the way children are getting killed. There's no society that really has survived without guns, when the people having guns. And you can't really say Europe. You can't say England, because the royals have guns. It's just the people. But it's funny if you watch their cop show and they beating everybody with the little prongs and shit. They beat everybody with those. That is kind of humorous. And that is one reason that, being armed country is the one reason that what little fear the government has of the people. Because just as I was showing you in the French Revolution, which was a real revolution where they ousted, not only ousted, they eliminated the nobility in their country. They literally got rid of 26,000 rich people and people who helped rich people. They got rid of that. And it's the only time really in history they got rid of it. Now they turned around, had a dictator, brought a king back, brought a relative of Napoleon back and all that. And then they try to, say that the French Revolution was so many years, but people don't forget when they were celebrating the 200 years of the French Revolution, it was only about 60 years or 65 years from when the Nazis occupied France. So how can you celebrate? It's like them when they celebrate Cinco de Mayo. What did they win? They beat the French out. That was Napoleon people that was losing anyway. Then they let the Americans come in and, the Civil War generals went into Mexico and fought all the way to Mexico City. And they told the Mexicans they didn't even want the hoes. They just left everything. Now, again, the goal of any war or campaign is to take the capital. They took Mexico City. Lee, Grant, all the Civil War generals fought in this stuff. This was their major campaign up until the Civil War. And they literally could have taken all that land from Mexico City all the way up to California or Oregon. And they gave them all that. They didn't want it. Look it up. They marched into Mexico City and conquered Mexico. Yet they gave it back. It's ironic they're having the Freaknik documentary on Hulu, Mississippi. We had an event called Black Beach Party this past weekend. Done shot a cop and injured 3 people. As I said, I'll still argue with anybody that Freaknik came out of what we started doing at A&T. It was my friend's idea and what it really was trying to find a way to, because remember, the 60s was all about going to Daytona Beach. There's movies about it. You watch some of the Elvis movies and movies, Daytona Beach you can watch a lot of 60 movies. That's where everybody wanted to go to. Then MTV started showing people going to Arizona, and then people were going to parts of Mexico. So they were trying to find a way that black, melanated students could party in America. And so what we did at A&T is we had a big spring party, and it grew. And again, the violence came like 3rd, 4th year. So that was the idea of it, is to give them give our people alternative spring break. That was the idea of it. So it turned into something quite different. Yep. Hey, it's different. B. Brown in the house. Remember the Inkwell movie? I do. I very well do. I remember the Inkwell movie. Yeah, thought Haiti trying to be conquered, but they were casting spells and using witchcraft to defend their land. Yeah. Yep, it all started a good party. See, that's very well. It did. That is why once the Europeans were defeated, once the French were defeated, because keep in mind, at one point, Haiti had the greatest natural resources in the world. That's what kind of helped build the French up. That's what helped some of the French, control some of Mexico and some of South America, was these natural resources they got out of Haiti. And it's just funny that when the people took it over, what they did is they did a blockade. Because they saw, I mean, if you want to do some deep research some of them soldiers, some of them European soldiers that fought in Haiti, and how they say that it was times they did not feel like they were fighting people, that they were fighting spooks, and they was fighting swords and shit with no people behind them. So that was a time where, and that's probably, that's probably why they have penalized that country. A country that was so beautiful. How did it go from being the most prestigious and wealth making to one of the poorest? That's on purpose. That's stealing their natural resources and not giving them anything back. And that's what we see. That is definitely what we see. Because there's a lot of natural resources there. Avatar, a lot of people think Avatar and the Tree of Life is, the myth out of Haiti. So, I don't know, y'all. What time is it? Because I can't stay up too long because I definitely got to get up early. That's how the Freakniks start, just among the colleges of AUC, Atlanta University Centers. Yeah. Yeah, and that's really why that's what it was. It was to give an alternative to the melanated people that didn't want to have to go to where all these Europeans was. Because that's how spring break was. It was, you would go at places where it was most of the Europeans that started going. And so they wanted something for the melanated folks where you didn't have to go and be around a lot of Europeans. I guess, minor segregation. Oh my goodness. PJ Allen, thank you so much for finding that hat. I still might go down. Well, it's going to be cheaper sending it away for it. Too bad for lids. I missed out because I could have got that hat for about $38. But that's all right. Headless Horseman isn't a myth. Really was Headless Horseman's. Interesting. Well, I guess that would go into the Lazar a little bit. I guess you could say if any kind of Voodoo, and we know Voodoo can operate types of beings, so very well could be, very well could. I'd have to do a little more research, but yeah, oh yeah. And like I'm an easy target for anybody because I can't. It's obvious I can't really type. So if anybody wanted to talk shit about me typing, I'm an easy target for that. I mean, I have dyslexia. I have problems copying things. Like that was one of my biggest things as a little person is I couldn't look at the paragraph and then write stuff from the paragraph. I mean, just the way dyslexia functions for me. So typing was the same way. I've never learned to type without looking down. I just, it's a lot just to type. And I'm not getting any excuses. But it's just part of just the way my mind is wired. And it's something I haven't had to do a lot. So, countries like Puerto Rico were rich. Costa Rica, coast of riches. Puerto Rico equals port of riches. Indeed. It's still like when that weirdo was living down in Costa Rica, they were living in some land. They looked like they was just squatting on some land. And the way others talk about that the land is pretty reasonable to live in Costa Rica because technically you're in a U.S. territory. And that weirdo was living down there with those bunch of people. I mean, it looked like they were very easily finding, a way. It looked like you could live a sustainable life down there. So hard to say. But it's funny, I was just thinking about, the attack on chocolate and dark chocolate. And you know how much I like dark chocolate. And they're saying that there's so much metal, in the soil that some of these cocoa beans are growing in, and that's what causes, the iron in it, the metals, the heavy metals. But you could say that for almost any product grown in the Americas. As my research showed, some of the research showed that they killed the land in the 70s. And that's where the generated plants come from. Man-made plants. They had to figure something out that would grow in this sand, this dirt that they've killed. Now, again, that is probably exaggerated somewhat, but we know what they did during the dust storms, where they did kill the land. And there's actual, this is known. It took them, 20 years to recover down there to start rotating the crops. But they turned good fertile land into sand. And 40 years? They killed the land, literally killed the land, and the land fought back. And some of these natural disasters, it makes you wonder, is the land fighting back? So, just some old man thoughts. A little dark chocolate is very good for you. My cousin and their friends came down there in 95 and 96 in Benz and BMW, the bags of money. Ever since then, I heard Detroit messed it up. Well, they went down there and they took over. So, it became, it became a thing where it was just melanated folks. There were concerts and everything, but that's what it was. It's providing something to do where melanated people could just gather instead of us trying to follow Europeans. That was the original idea of it. I love typing. I like texting more than talking. I know it's ruined the art of verbal communication, but my vocal cords and my fingers quicker. Plus, I like pushing buttons. I've talked about this before. The thing I liked that you could really mac on women is it was so cool when you had 3 or 4 women, because it was a period, I would say like 10 years ago, just 10 years ago, before I got with my daughter's mother, I could date 3 or 4 women and just text them every night. It was like, that was okay. I would see each about once a week, maybe one more, a couple times, but it's like, I never had to call these chicks and talk to them. All I had to do is just text them. And it was just funny, because it was like, as I talk about, pimping is just getting people to do what you want them to do. That's all pimping is. It's influencing people to do what you need to get done for you. And it is the selfish thing, but that's all it is. It is not necessarily about human trafficking. I mean, I know it's thrown around like that, but it's a whole different culture and attitude of really getting people to do for you. You can pimp your work. If everybody's doing what you want them to do, use pimping your work. I saw an interesting thing today. I saw a young brother I was eating, and he had a young family, and I couldn't really tell, I couldn't really see his girl because she had her back towards me. But it was like, when it was time to go, he got up and the little boy followed him, and then the mama came following. I was like, that's a man. That's a man. The boy saw it. And you could tell the boy was a daddy's boy, because the daddy got up, the boy went right with the dad. And the woman circled back around after him. And I thought, that's a man. And that's how it should be. It's like when I go out and it's like when I go out with my fiance's family and stuff, and we got other stuff to do, I'm the first to say, we got to go. Now, this past winter was a lot of instances where we was all out and the weather was funky. And so the whole time I'm looking at the weather too, because there's a couple cars that's got to make it back. And we've had blizzards up here. And so I'm the first one to be like, look, this weather's getting bad. We've had a great lunch. Let's go. But they like that. Now, my fiance would tell you I never, she wants to go eat somewhere. I'm pretty agreeable. I like the same kind of stuff, so I'm pretty agreeable. That's something that I don't really care. You want to go eat wherever, I'm pretty agreeable. So, and some women do like, you making all decisions and stuff. I understand that. But there's some arguments and some things it's just not, you don't even got to argue or fight for it. It's like, okay, this is what I want. There's days if you want something, like if I want steak, hey, we going somewhere for steak. Because my daughter likes steak. There's a lot of stuff my daughter doesn't like. Like we went to this one Italian restaurant for my mother's birthday. And I knew there was nothing there that my daughter liked but steak. And so she got a $50 filet mignon steak. She got the most expensive plate between my fiance, myself, and her. What she got cost more, but that's the only thing she liked. So, we just chuck it up for, this is going to cost me a little money, but that's all right, because this is what she likes. And this is her celebrating her grandmother's birthday. But they had the best bread, and they've got this, I don't know where they get their olive oil. It's virgin olive oil. So yeah, I got a super early day tomorrow. JR Smooth says, respect to the 15 people. Indeed. That's what the young girls like. Do text more than talk. Indeed. You talking facts. Pimping and human trafficking is not the same. That was a way pimps, that's a way to give pimps 20 years plus. Indeed. I mean, think of the idea really of Big Mama and all the strings she has to, the idea of the Big Mama and all the strings that she has to pull, and how this woman, central figure, could pimp everybody. That she had her hand in all the grandchildren. I mean, this is the same thing. It's getting people to do what you want them to do. So that's all. Nothing more, nothing less. And any way of slang and way of dress. Again, we don't wear the big ass hats and all that. I'm gonna get you sucker stuff. But it's a way of having pride on how you look. I mean, do you know how many people like me just walking at the Mall of America? Do you know how many people I attract just because I dress nice all the time? I catch people checking me out. Just your appearance attracts people. But I told that story before. Now I got somebody. I don't look at nobody else. I don't need anybody else. I told I could have had a Corey Holcomb situation, but I don't want that, because that takes away from what I'm trying to build here. And I've lived that enough where I don't need that anymore. I don't need that in my life. So just some things to consider as you get mature. That's all, I guess, is my point. Yeah, that's my biggest point. It's just things to consider. Because Richard Pryor said it best. It's just hard enough to be a human being. And then be a human being and have a wife and family and your own family, her family. It's hard. I look at parents. Like I was looking at a parent going in. He was going in with a toddler. And I was like, just as that little boy walking next to you now, barely walking, a few years, he'll stay stride and stride with you. And if you've treated him well enough, when you can't walk, he'll throw his arm around you to give you support. That's how it's supposed to go. Nas says it best. Twice a child, once a man, or adult, and that's really the way. That's the cycle. And as you get older, you try to put enough love and respect out there where people treat you with love and respect. And that's where a lot of people, when they get older, don't understand. Let me change subjects. Let me find him, and let me tell you about my family. Let me look him up so you know who I'm talking about. And what has just happened. And here we go. I just need... Okay, I forgot. I searched here. I didn't mean to. Oh, yeah, that search is good. I'll search there again. Yeah, I'll show you guys. See if I can just get this without playing music. Let's see. All right, this cat right here is my cousin. I've known him all my life. I would dare say he's probably 6 to 8 years older than me. He had a sister. His sister and I graduated together. And the way we're related is my great grandmother and his great grandmother were sisters. Now, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not showing his picture. I'm sorry. Here he is. So our great grandmothers were sisters. But not only that, part of his family were also related to my other family, Ampies. So this guy is kind of related on both sides of my mother's family. He's part of the Russell family, which is our great grandmothers were Russells, and they come out of Kentucky. If there's any Cherokee in my family, it comes from there. And this guy, brutal father. Father was very, very, what is the word I'm looking for? Abusive. And this cat leaves home 15, 16, 17. He graduated, so I'm not sure how long when he ran away, because he did graduate. But this cat goes to India, and he gets the name Narada by a guru, and they say he dropped acid and shit. But I got a call this week. Now, he had 3 brothers. It's funny, like my aunt, my mother's sister, and his mother, who are cousins, they name their children almost identical names. I mean, both families have a Michael. Both families have a Chris. Most families have a Ronald. So both families, kind of named the people the same. So he had hit songs. I Should Have Loved You was probably his biggest song, but you guys probably know him more for his producing. He won his first Grammy producing Aretha Franklin. He won an Academy Award for The Bodyguard. If you listen to his son's first song, Delightful, it is Jeff Beck playing lead guitar, but the person singing background was Cissy Houston. And this is where his connection comes with Whitney Houston, who he wrote a book about. But this is not what I bring him up for. Now, I just got a call. Now, I've told the story of his brother Chris. I told you that when I was 12 years old, this woman tried to give me some, and I really didn't understand. She was she was careful, but this lady was a straight up, she had kidnapped a young boy before I even met her. And his father was brutalized. And so I introduced my cousin to this lady when he was 15. She was 38 or 39. And he ran away from home and lived with that lady. That was his brother, Chris. This guy's had a lot of talent. But to get to my point, he had another brother named Ron. Ron was about 6'4", 6'5". Decent basketball player in his own right. But Ron drank himself to death. That's the story. But reality, we know the price of fame. So I get a call last year, December, maybe November. His former manager is his other brother named Kevin. Now check this out. You want to hear a story of a person that just goes home to die? Kevin supposedly is helping his brother Chris buy something. While my other friend is driving Kevin around, he dies in my friend's car. He literally flew on a plane. It's no way. I don't even know how they let the guy get on the plane. But he flew on the plane and died a few days later in Kalamazoo. That's brother number 2 that died. And then last week, Chris is probably 3 years older than me, just died. So do you see the price of fame? Do you see the price of fame? He sacrificed his 3 brothers for his fame. And as I said before, drug addicts are easy to kill. So his brother that was alcoholic, it was easy to kill him. His other brother felt fame because the other brother was his manager for probably 30 years. And then now the younger brother. So the price of fame is hell. Now let me see if I can find some more pictures just to show you the strength in the story. Okay. All right, let's see. Whoops, nope. Yes, that's it. Let's see. This is probably nothing, huh? Wow, nothing. Let's see if we throw. Oh. Okay. Nope, don't need that. Oh, let's find it, bring it back up. I might have to just do the search. Let's see. Let's try this again. Let's see, did it come up? Oh, let's try that right there. Still not bringing him up. Oh, we're just going to do a general search. And because I was hoping Pinterest would do something because, let's see. Let's see. Okay. This might. Okay. Let's see if I can get this to come up. Where'd it go? Okay. Here we go. This is the best I can find. All right. Drummer. Okay. And he also invented a type of kick. So he was born in, so he's 9 years older than me. See, Kalamazoo, same place I grew up. So he's 9 years older than me. Says drummer, songwriter, producer, vocalist Michael Natter Walden's career spans 3 decades as he threaded with gold, platinum, multi-awards. He produced and co-written a number of Whitney Houston's, Mariah Carey, Vision of Love, Aretha Franklin, Freeway of Love, and Lisa Fisher, How Can I Ease the Pain. His proficient drumming skills have made him a first-class musician, played on countless record sessions. Walden has played on all kinds of sessions from rock to pop. John McLaughlin, the Machine Orchestra, 21-year-old replaced drummer Billy Coben, Jeff Beck, to name a few. His career as a recording artist showcased Rhino's Ecstasy Dancer, the best Natter Waldens. In the 80s, became a Grammy-winning producer of the year in 1987. Album of the year for the 93 soundtrack, The Bodyguard, and Song of the Year award for writing Aretha Franklin's Freeway of Love. This helped the Queen of Soul land her first platinum album. Walden was named one of the top 10 producers with the most #1 hits by Billboard magazine. Natter produced the Temptations Stay, don't remember that one, which was the first, their hit one record in 25 years. He's born in Kalamazoo. The guy, She Chimney. After college graduation, he went to Western? I don't know. He signed with Atlantic at a young age, and his first album was this album, right? Or no, The Garden of Light. This was his ex-wife. I met her, Lisa, I think is her name. They didn't have any children. His second album, Should Have Loved You. His second highest charting single, I Should Have Loved You, hit #4 in 79. It was A Dance of Life. #9 on the R&B, which included Gentle, Why Did You Turn on Me? I don't remember that one. You're #1 and Summer Lady, both on this blah, blah, blah. He did the 4 tops, Reach Out, I'll Be There, Looking for You at Me. He opened Tarpon Studios, which he still runs today. State-of-the-art studio located near San Francisco. His works appears released by Stacey Lattisaw, Al Green, Shanice Williams, Ray Charles, Diana Ross, George Michael, Tevin Campbell, and blah, blah, blah. So now, and it does appear like he's down for whatever because there are pictures of him with, oh, okay. Let's see if we can bring this up. Oh, okay. Let's see. Here we go. I was looking for something that would show me stuff like this. Again, I always thought that he kind of swung both ways, but look at this one eye symbolism. So we know he's down with it. Boyfriend. Wow. It just straight up says boyfriend. Married. But there's pictures with this cat with everybody. He knows everybody. And when he had pictures with Quincy Jones' arm around him, I was like, okay, you with it. You are with it. Now, I know his sisters better. You know, I didn't grow up with this cat. This cat, you know, almost 9 years older than me. So, you know, but now that his other brother just got buried, you see the price of fame. And it's just the two sisters. It's him and the two sisters left. That's it. Just him and the two sisters. And he's older than the sisters. So, this is my own family. This is my own family. And, you know, not saying he's a bad guy, but, you know, blood is taken. Blood is taken. And as I said, I always say the price of fame is hell. No lie, that how can I ease the pain came to me before you said it. I didn't know he produced that. Down with the get down, exactly. And so it hurt me to hear that the young man had passed after the life he had because he had got married. He was living in the house up the street from where I grew up. They gave him the house. His father, when his father moved to Arizona, because his mother been left him. His mother left her. His mother took you know, my cousin. She took a lot of abuse from that cat, and nobody really did nothing about it. And when she got his chance, and her son brought her to California, she never looked back. But it's funny, when you're a bully and abusive, when you get old, you tend to be alone. You tend to be alone. That's what people forget. As I said, I think I've treated people kind enough where when I get old, I have enough family here that will look in on me every once in a while. Plus, if I was ever put in an old folks' home, I would take a pistol with me. So there would never be a chance of abuse. I think at 80 years old, I could still pop somebody. So I don't think I would be abused in the home, because I would tell them that if you fuck around with me, I'm going to pop you. I think that should be at every rest home if I have to go. I think still at 85, I could still pop somebody. So when they'd come to get me out to bed, I'd have that little 38 special, like, yeah, okay, what are y'all gonna do? You was a little rough with me yesterday. Let's see that today. I know, it's just comedy. But part of that is real, because that's what people face. Warriors going home. I think so too. I think so too. They would not allow you to have a gun. What? What are you talking about? They would not allow me. They couldn't. How are they going to stop me? How are they going to stop me? It's a free country. Wouldn't allow me to take it in there. I was sneaking in there. I'd tape it under the bed. Say when they was cleaning up my dirty drawers, they found my pistol. Like, hey, you got a pistol up in there. I don't know. I think that's what old people should have. Like, I was at a store and some young dudes thought they was gonna walk up on this old cat, and he showed that heat. Them young dudes backed up off him. It outnumbers people. When you think you outnumbered by young people, you put that heat out. And what did Wyatt Earp say? I may not get you all, but I'm gonna get the leader. I may not get you all, but I'm gonna get you. And then what he said, he's joking. And the dude who had that gun to his head said, he is not joking. He will kill me. A knife or pepper spray. Hey, did y'all see where the dude, I was watching some stuff the other day. The dude goes out in the woods, and the only thing he takes out there is bear pepper spray. what sense does that make to take bear pepper spray? You know, the only thing that knocks down a bear is you got to have like a what 50 caliber or like a 410. If you're shooting a pistol, you got to shoot a high grade pistol, something like a 50 caliber to knock that bear down. Because 9s ain't gonna do it, 10 millimeter ain't gonna do it. Magnum ain't gonna kill a bear. You got to get something like a 410 pistol that will kill a bear. So, but this dude gets messed up. He pepper sprays the bear just eats it. And the bear like ate his ass. And the bear ate him. That just goes to show you, you got to know what you're doing when you go out there. And if you don't have something that's going to knock that bear down. Now, some 10 millimeters, I mean, if you got 20, you put 20 in a bear, even 9s. You put 20 in the right spot, you might be able to take him down. Depending on the kind of rounds you have. But if he gets too close, Jalen Hurts just got $225 for 5 years. I know Lamar Jackson's feeling sick because nobody wants to pay him. Well, we started talking about that. That comes from him not having an agent. They're trying to penalize him for not having an agent. And that's the penalty they're putting there. And see, it's collusion. See, they talk about players having collusion, but we know it's collusion of the owners. The owners have got together and said, we are not going to let him play. We are not going to give him this money. We're going to franchise him, which pays him considerably less. He'll probably still make 30. But again, Rodgers about to make 50. Jalen's going to make damn near 50. So we see that they're conspiring against him. And that's supposed to be illegal, even with the owners. Yeah, it's 255. Yeah, 250. Yeah, 255. I thought is what I read this morning. So that breaks down to about 50 a year, maybe more. So, yeah, he's big. What did they used to call it? He's big steamed. He is big steamed, and that would make you big steamed. Well, am I up? Oh, I'm at 2 hours. Yeah, I got to get up early, y'all. I mean, I'm going to bed and getting right back up. I got to be up at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to get about 4 or 5 hours of sleep and do what I got to do tomorrow. He's a running back. He's a running back that can throw. I would say he didn't have the arm of Michael Vick. Now, that would be the only thing. I say he had everything else. And I don't even think he's fast as Michael Vick. The only person I saw that might have been fast as Michael Vick was Iverson. And I don't know if y'all realize the kind of football player Iverson could have been. He'd have probably been had to go play slot or something just because of his size. I don't know if he could have, because when he would have went in, well, he's the same size Michael Vick. Him and Michael Vick the same size. I don't know if I don't think he quite had as strong as arm as Michael Vick. I think Michael Vick's arm was a little stronger. So, well, y'all, I'm going to call it a night. I will give some spirit animal energy out for tomorrow. Just randomly pick one. And divination for you guys watching. I'll give you a little free divination. I read that one already. All right. Tonight's card is the Spider. Nope, just that one. There we go. All right. Spider's a spider. Spider. Let's get a little deeper into it. Ah, here we go. Probably in here. Yep. Okay, here we go. Give a little deeper insight. Give both references. Spider. The spider shows up in myth and lore throughout the world. Usually, it symbolizes have been very similar wherever it is used. In India, it was associated with Maya, the weaver of illusion. It is connection to the fates in Greek mythology and the Norns in Scandinavia lore. Woman who would weave, measure, and cut threads to life. To the Native American, a spider is called grandmother, the link to the past and the future. Also, spider is one of the earliest signs of Mu. The octopus and spider is the only real signs of Mu, which is the first thought. Unlike insects, spiders have two section bodies instead of three, often giving them a figure of eight kind of appearances. This is conjunction with its legs, links to the difficulty learning to walk, and these circles even hold your position within the middle of the two. Spider teaches you to maintain a balance between past and future, physical and spiritual, male and female. Spider teaches you that everything you do now is weaving what you will encounter in the future. In the tarot card, the deck, the Wheel of Fortune. This card has to do with rhythm, the rise and the fall, the flow and flux. It is linked to the energies of honor and fame, the sensitivities necessary to place ourselves within the rhythm of nature. Meditation upon this card will be beneficial for anyone with the spider totem. The spider awakens creative sensibility. It weaves a web of intricate and subtle fabric, as to remind us that the past always subtly influences the present and future. Often the webs will take a spiral shape, the traditional form of creativity and development. The spiders found within the web remind us that we are the center of our own world. The ancient mystery schools had one perspective inscribed as their portals: know thyself, know thy shalt know the universe. Spider reminds us that the world is woven around us. We are the keepers and the riders of our own destiny, and weaving like a web by our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. And 43. Number 43. Here. All right. Spider wove the web that brought humans, the first picture of the alphabet. The letters were part of the angles of her work. Deer asked Spider what she was weaving and why all the lines looked like symbols. Spider replied, "Why, dear, it is a time for Earth's children to learn to make records and their progress in Earth's walk." Deer answered, "They already have pictures that show through symbols the stories of their experiences." "Yes," Spider said, "but Earth's children are growing more complex. Their future generations will need to know more. The ones to come won't remember how to read the pictographs." So as the spider wove the first primordial alphabet, as she had woven the dream of the world. See, that goes into the story of Mu. She had become manifest. Spider's dream of the physical world had come from fruition millions of years before. Spider's body is made like the number 8, consisting of 2 lobe-like parts connected at the waist, 8 legs. Spiders are the symbol of infinite possibility of creation. Her 8 legs represent the 4 winds of change and the 4 directions on the medicine wheel. Spider weaves a web for fate of those who get caught in her web and become her dinner. Similar to humans who get caught in the web of illusion, the physical world, and never see beyond the horizon or other dimensions. The web of fate also represents a wheel-like life, which does not include any alternatives or solutions, typical to get caught in the polarity of good or bad fortune without realizing that we may change at any time. We're not decisive enough about changing our lots in life, we may end up being consumed by our fears and our limitations. So remember that you are the weaver and you are telling your own story. I think I'm gonna do a video on a couple different things. One is going to be medicine wheel, and the other will be type of grids. Medicine wheel is really interesting because it is a circle, but it never asks you to trap yourself in the circle. And it's never meant for bind. You're never trying to bind anything. So it's really kind of a cool kind of way to use magic and our energies of the nature and understanding nature and directional energies especially. So I'll try to figure out how to make it useful, especially grids. That's kind of one thing that's kind of cool about this, and I've given crystals out, every day, but this can tie you into the stones with only just having a few stones. But I would just say if you bought quartz crystals and then you bought this card deck could work for you without having to actually get the crystals. And you could do grids. So this is a way too. If you don't want to buy the crystals, this is a way to work with the crystal energy still, because it's all about intention. And you grab one of these crystal cards, and yes, it's not the actual crystal, but the intention when they made it was to give you the energy. So if the tension is there, you can use this kind of thing. I said before, I made a big grid in my house one time during one of the solstices, and I put all the cards, I think it was 2 decks worth of cards, so it's covered. And I put crystals in the middle, and soon as I laid, because like my cats were curious, they were walking all over the cards. The minute I laid that last card down, my cats both jumped. It was like the energy soared in on those cards, and my cats just jumped off of them and ran away. They didn't know what the hell hit them. It's like as soon as I put that last card down, boom, the energy hit, and it made the cats, it repelled the cats. It made them jump off of it. So it just shows you your intention, and it's just, practice your magic. Practice. Each and every one of us have some type of magical capability. Now, I ain't saying everybody can do abracadabra. That ain't everybody. But what I'm saying is there's something special and magical about everybody that everybody can use. And again, learn what like empaths. That is a sensitivity. I mean, if a person can tell you a story and they're sad and you can become sad, you could be empathic. Because I never knew for years why I couldn't watch a player get hurt on football. I would feel it. I would literally, if I see that player get hurt on the ground, whatever he got hurt, I would literally feel it. So for years, I couldn't watch a person get hurt, or I couldn't watch the replay because I could see from the general play that someone had got hurt, but I couldn't watch the replay because I could feel it. So if you're empathic, there's something there. Again, I've got a big book of things possibilities. A person that could read the clouds, a person that could read smoke. Bones, where do you think, all this stuff that Wudang talks about? A person that could read beans. So there's a lot of different things that we each have special. So that we each can do. And so that's all I put out there is find out what it is for you. Because what it is for me is different than what it is for everybody else. Well, as always, thank you for the support. I'm sorry they cut me off last night. I tried to cuss a little less. But I'll try to play nice with Google and not talk about too much of behavior surplus. Because they are the enemy. They hate that stuff. They hate any kind of regulation. They hate you knowing this stuff about them. That they've made money on the way we shop, on the way we want things, and we freely give it to them. And so we have to understand the full effect of the game before we really understand what we're playing. And a lot of it doesn't seem like most of us understand the game. So that's why I'm here, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go. Yeah, this is it. So thank you. I will not be on tomorrow night, but I will be doing the Big Eagle afternoon show tomorrow. I am not coming on tomorrow night. Tuesday is night with my lady. We lay down at the same time. And so I won't be coming on tomorrow night, but I will be coming on sometime in the daytime tomorrow. And I think Lobo's going, so you guys, Lobo's doing live. So if he does all the games, then I won't do a live during the game. Depends if he only does one or two, then I might do lives. But Lobo's doing live during the game. So if you want to hear commentary, and I'm home, I'll try to support his stream. But he's doing a live tomorrow during the games. So there's 3 games on tomorrow. So if he does all 3, then I'll just sit back and watch. But if he doesn't do all 3, then I might do the one he doesn't. So check out Lobo because he will be going live tomorrow for it. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I send the Kundalini out to everybody. Thank you for joining me. Till we meet again, say less.